Welcome back to Severed Sons, everyone.
Hey!
Finally, it's been a while,
My heart's
but
beating
we're back.
already.
We are a Frostmaiden actual play D&D podcast, and we are excited to bring you tales of the Frozen North and the everlasting Rime. My name is Ron Murphy, Dungeon Master, and around the virtual table we have...
Hey, what's up? It's Paul. I'm so glad to be back.
It's me, Ross G. What's up?
Hey, I'm Josh. We're about to get pretty real today, I think.
Hey, it's Zach. We're going to get unreal. It's a... I don't know what I'm doing.
Tournament?
Ooh,
Hello.
I guess we'll have to see who's right.
I meant in terms of that it's, we're playing pretend.
Yes,
It's a
fantasy.
fantasy game. It's not real.
Okay, hi, I'm Claire.
Yeah, how you going to top that?
I'm not. I'm just here.
We are... It's been like, what, a month since we...
The last,
Almost
Yes.
exactly.
Almost
the 25th
exactly,
of
yeah.
October. We recorded. It's now the 23rd of November.
I am so glad to be
Of course,
back.
this will come out in like January, February-ish.
2023.
Yeah.
We'll see you then, folks.
Yeah. Blake isn't here yet, and if you've listened to the last episode, you know why.
Which we're
So-
hoping you did. We hope you don't just skip.
If you're starting
you
at
didn't,
36,
you didn't put us on shuffle.
we are no longer sponsored by Liquid Death.
Spoiler alert.
And there's a girl now, too. Hi.
Let's go.
But he might be joining us later. Who knows? I'm excited. I'm
Me
so
too.
excited to hear that voice again. Well, if everyone is ready, let's begin tonight's episode of Severed Sons, episode 36. Send in the clone. Last time, you all entered the council meeting hall except for Kai and saw several familiar faces, including Ryan and Meathook McGregor. Trax, you spotted your old body, the elf named Farron, on the balcony and confronted him, causing a ruckus, and made him promise to stay after the meeting. Donar, representing Kaer Koenig, you stepped onto the dais and took your place among the speakers. All in all, only 6 of the towns were represented at the council meeting, the rest unaccounted for. Spokespeople honored those who had been lost and described the destruction that the dragon had wrought against the community. After the roll call of the dead, Speaker Duvessa Shane took the podium to speak of rebuilding and of what could be done if the dragon returned to wreak more havoc. Duvessa spoke of how McGregor had come to her aid and saved her life from assassins, and how his organization, the Juggernaut, could bring much-needed food, supplies, and lumber for rebuilding the razed structures of the town. Donar, you took center stage, calling into question McGregor's motives for helping the Dale, and using information given to you by Kai, accused him of killing Ryan's brother, Max. McGregor answered by telling the group that it was Kai who had killed Ryan, and that he had slain Kai in retaliation for the murder. At the height of Donar's impassioned speech, Kai entered the meeting hall and confronted Meathook. Kai yelled at everyone to get back, a command that Brune refused to follow. Tearing off his shirt, Kai revealed 3 glowing glyphs of warding on his bared chest. A short fight ensued as the crowd fled to the outer walls of the room. Giving a quick feint, Kai leapt into the air to deliver a kick, then reversed into a strike that triggered all 3 explosive runes. A blinding flash of light filled the room, knocking McGregor and Brune to the ground. Kai's body, caught at the center of the blast, was nowhere to be seen. Ryan, determined and upset, fled from the meeting hall and shared a moment with Fang as she ran out the door. Spitz ran to Meathook's body to deliver the final blow, but noticed that the crime lord had succumbed to his injuries. The speaker of Bryn Shander regained control of the meeting, telling you that they had received word of a great clanging of metal engines and black smoke coming from the Durgarian fortress. Urging you to take the fight to the dwarves beneath the mountain, she asked you if you would be the ones to take it out. Duvessa looks at you, all of you, and says, "What supplies will you need?"
Donar clears his throat and adjusting his position so he still has a hand on Brune, looking away from Fife because they recently had that confrontation about justice. He's going to say, to be honest, it might be a second before we are able to come up with a list. There are a lot of pieces to pick up here, and it's not like we can start ordering hempen root by the dozen foot.
She says, I have sent scouts to the south to try to follow the dragon to see, make sure it is going back to this mountain fortress. Do we have any other, she calls out to the other speakers who are there, do we have any other business to take care of? Ted Johnson walks in and says, I've been waiting for this moment, and I would like to announce my candidacy for mayor of Caer Koenig.
Read the room, Ted. This is not the time.
Duvessa says, she just kind of looks at Ted and goes, we will take it under advisement and bring it up at the next meeting. And Ted just kind of like embarrassed walks out. And you see, actually look back there and you see kind of like, she goes out, the doors are open, and there's 4 children around him with cloaks on, and they kind of like reach up and touch him, and he's like, let's go, we have to go home now. And you see the 4 children follow him off.
I'm going to register that.
Donar, under his breath, is going to say to no one, shit, Ted Johnson's got like a whole life we don't know about.
Married with kids the whole time.
Were they human children?
They were wearing cloaks. They were like all bundled up. You couldn't really see anything.
Okay.
They were humanoid.
They were short. They were like maybe about 2 to 3 foot tall.
Spitz will look over to Duessa and say, we really appreciate your offer, but I think we need a little bit of time for planning. And also, a lot has happened. So if we may have a night where we can make a plan, get some rest, as we are all also extremely exhausted at this point. I think I speak for everyone in this room.
Of course, of course.
But perhaps we can continue this conversation as we go on and keep track of the supplies we'll need moving forward, too.
Meet me at the City Hall tomorrow morning, bright and early. Except it's not very bright ever around here.
The sentiment is understood, and I appreciate your grace with this. We'll think of something.
I have scouts who will keep watch and let us know if the dragon escapes the mountain, leaves the mountain.
That is invaluable. Thank you very much for doing that.
If there's not any other business, I call this meeting to a close. And you see everybody start to get up and start talking. Russell goes over to Nimsy and it's kind of like, are you okay? Checking on her. Trax, make a perception roll.
That's a dirty 20.
You see Willard trying to like blend in with the crowd and his date. And he's trying to go down the stairs and like kind of like in a big group of people, and he's ducking down.
Trax is going to run and he's going to try and pounce on him.
Make a grappling roll.
He wants to like dig his claws into him. Oh no, I don't like the sound of that. I rolled a nat 1, so I missed.
He rolled a 2. So what happens is that you run right into him.
And I still tripped on it.
But somebody steps in the way. So you run into this person. This person runs against him. He kind of falls against the wall, slips down a bit, and you're kind of tangled up with this person. And he gets up and starts running for the exit.
And so I'm going to immediately stand up, dust myself off, and say, Spitz, stop him!
On it! And she'll just run.
This elf is just running like, and he's running like his legs are just like weirdly like in the air, and his elbows are just like, you've never seen an elf like, well, I don't even know if you've seen an elf before.
Isn't that how Donar runs?
High knees.
No, but
That's how Wendell used to run.
Spitz right now
but
is just...
he's running. He's not running gracefully. Let's just say that.
Great. She's confused, but she's like, I trust my little lizard. So yeah, okay. And she'll try to grapple him. Well, she'll just try to get in the way first and grapple if necessary.
Yeah, he kind of tries to dodge. He's going to make a acrobatics roll, and he's just rolling straight 20-sided. He doesn't have any bonuses of anything, so he's going to try to use acrobatics to escape your grapple. Natural 1.
Oh, word. I don't know
long as
what
you
to
didn't roll
add, but I rolled a 9. So
It's an athletics.
beautiful. So then it's a 16. So
Oh shit!
Yeah, he is looking behind him, and Spitz just kind of steps over to the side, and he just barrels right into you, and you don't even like a statue, do not move, and he bounces off of you onto the ground, and you reach down as he's falling and grab him by the shirt collar.
So
I
Trax is going to,
procured the man.
while dusting himself off after falling, he's going to walk back up and say, I need to have a chat with this gentleman. Maybe we should go somewhere a little quieter.
All of us.
You can come along.
I know that there's a lot going on. This seems very important to you, Trax, so I'm okay to stay and hang on to him.
I appreciate it.
I'll give you my prized cow if you let me go right now.
I don't give two shits about your prized cow.
She produces really good milk.
Oh fuck, Trax. We might look into that.
Give me. Yep. Look, this is my body.
Wait, for real?
Yes. I
Trax.
know my body.
No, it's not that I don't believe you. It's just so much has happened the past week. I didn't expect that after all of it.
I know it comes at an unideal time, but you saw his unusual gait. He's not used to this body. It is not the culprit that originally stole it, but it is mine.
I'm very confused, but I'd like to hear more.
Yes.
I'll get you up to speed. Don't worry.
Wonderful.
I could use to sink my teeth into something else. I'm a little fried right now, but I'd love to help a pal.
Thank
I'm
you.
in.
Appreciate it. It's been a long day, and we could use a win.
What are the rest of you doing?
Donar's still on the ground with a hand on Brune, and he's going to find Fang and say to him, before too many people leave, do you think we should set up some kind of triage? Because, good lord, I mean, there's so many injured out there, and if we're kind of leading the charge...
Fang is vacantly staring out the front exit, still processing what just happened with Kai and the moment he had, the private moment telepathically that he just had with Ryan, essentially like going over Kai's final words and Ryan's words as she ran out rather, and he doesn't seem to hear you. Like, he's just kind of staring, like looking out at whatever devastation he can see and just thinking very hard, and he just says, yeah, he just kind of mutters out an agreement and looks at you.
Brune has kind of been half paying attention to this conversation. He's been standing up next to Donar, and he's been kind of like looking at his arms and his hands and his body and just kind of like touching his chest, and has this very confused look on his face. And eventually his gaze will go to Meathook, who's still there, correct?
Yes, Duvessa is actually gathering some guards, and the guards are kind of like standing at a respectable distance, but they look like they want to take the body.
Is the Meathook still there?
The Meathook is. Yes.
I would like to take the Meathook.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you're just referring
as
to
I
him
reach
as a
for
person.
it, as I reach for the
Call him
weapon,
Meathook.
Brune just says, "This weapon has apparently done some very terrible things. Let's see if it can do some good." And he'll take it and just kind of pack it.
Noting that and Fang's distance emotionally, Donar is just going to, before too many people leave the room, before he's going to say, just real fast point of order, nothing too formal, but anyone with healing magic or healer's kits or herbalism, any clerics or doctors or anything, find someone to help. There are a lot of people who need help, and we can't help them all. Thank you very much. I'm Donar.
If any of them come to Brune, he'll kind of wave them off with a I don't need it kind of thing.
Ron, around what time is it, do we think?
It's evening. The meeting took place in the evening.
Okay.
So I want to say around 8-ish or 9.
Spitz will say, as it seems we might be going some separate ways for a brief mo. What say we get together so we can rack our brains? Perhaps after we take care of this one, and she kind of shoves this foreign elf body.
Keep your bear paws off of me.
Oh, you don't even know I'm a bear.
You're the bear lady, aren't you?
Yeah, okay, well,
You're
you figured
getting
that
meta.
out. There are lots of bear motifs on my person, I understand. But shall we meet, perhaps, to eat some food, rest, come up with a plan before tomorrow?
Yeah, I personally don't want to split up from any of you if at all possible.
Perhaps we should all meet, or perhaps we should all make our way back to our lodgings from earlier?
If they're still around.
The lodgings were at the church. Yeah, Michonne and Copper Knobberknocker comes up to you, Donar, and says, we have several acolytes who are going around setting up triage stations around town to try to help those who are hurt. Thank you for saying something.
Oh, of course. I mean, if anyone's buried under a building or something, they can't exactly ask for help. So you might need to employ those with some strong lifting muscles to sort through the rubble. Because that's going to be, step one before you help someone trapped,
We're trying to set up, during a dragon attack, most of the lights, the lanterns that were set outside of the buildings were doused to hide from the dragon. We've got some children running around trying to relight some of those lanterns, so there's meant to make way stations for people to meet up at throughout the city at cross streets, and we're going to make those places where people can ask for aid. Is there anything? You have been such a help.
Out of necessity, I did what I hoped anybody else would do, and honestly, I kind of surprised myself because I'm 19 and don't know nothing from nothing. So thank you. I'm gonna hang out with my friends.
You see her, and she takes the symbol of the Morning Lord and presses it. She actually takes it off of her neck and gives it to you.
Oh shit!
In these dark times, may light shine the path in front of you.
And
And she hands
Fang
you
hears that, because he's nearby, he just kind of, to himself, gives a little, and that's it. He just kind of, scoffs at that.
She finishes, may you bring the sun back to the dale. And with that, her and Copper Knobberknocker walk away.
Donar's not going to respond. He's just going to give a kind of a heavy swallow sigh and corral with the group, going out of his way not to say anything to Fang, but to stay by his side and Bruins if possible while we travel.
Michonne actually kind of looks at you, Fang, as she walks by and puts her hand on your shoulder, and says, "The shadows are important too, dear," and walks on.
Fang doesn't say anything.
Okay.
And Ron, that's just a holy symbol.
It's just a holy symbol of Lathander, the Morning Lord.
Okay.
God of the Sun.
Let's go.
God of the Sun.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Who wants to do what?
Well, you know what I want to do.
And who's going with Trax?
Fang's at the entrance just waiting for anybody to walk out. He'll follow. He's not taking the lead right now.
Okay.
I think perhaps the best bet is for all of us to go back to a place that's a bit more private with just the group of us.
Yeah.
That might be for the best.
Yes.
Good times for processing. You're coming too.
Willard's date walks past you, both of you, and she stops and looks at Willard and says, "It's been lovely, but we will not be going out again." And she keeps walking.
Shit. Brutal.
Gotcha there. Can't even use my body correctly.
Correctly.
The building that we're in, is that town hall?
Know what I mean?
No, it is not. Let me take you to the actual Bryn Shander map. It's at the south end of town. There's a council hall, and the town hall is in the center of the city.
I forgot the city was so big.
Does the council hall have any sort of steeple, or just a? Is it a tall building?
It's a tall building. There are small meeting rooms upstairs and in the attic, and all buildings in Icewind Dale are kind of steepled so that snow will fall off easily. So there's a bit of a steeple. It's not like a religious steeple, but
sure.
it is.
But if there's even a chimney or a point to the house at all,
yes.
As the group walks out, Fang, he kind of lingers behind. It turns around and looks at the spot that Kai, the incident, happened. He swallows hard and he looks up and at the chimney of the building and uses one sorcery point to cast a distant spell. So a touch spell now has a range of 30 feet, and he casts light on the chimney.
Nice. Okay.
That's really good.
Just kind of shines out across the emptying streets.
He breathes in through his nose, just real deep, and lets it out through his mouth and turns around and follows the group.
Okay, as you're walking back to the House of the Morning Lord, Fang, make a perception check.
That is a 15. I'm sorry, a 15.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You look down the alleyway as you're walking together, and you see a red tiefling kind of in the shadows. He's got his cloak. Usually he's out. It's Scath. He's usually out, just brazen,
It's
showing off his muscles, his weapons, everything. But he's kind of in the shadows. He's got cold weather clothing on, kind of hiding his features a little bit. And he kind of looks at you pointedly. Kind of does one of these come here motions.
Fang will approach.
I shouldn't be here, but Kai wanted me to give you this. It hands you a piece of paper.
Fang doesn't break his gaze, but takes it, and he says, "So, you're aware then?"
I am. Unfortunately. I'll be in Targos if you need anything.
Fang gives him kind of a squinty eye, and I trusted you. That's not to say that I should. But can I? As he raises an eyebrow and looks him dead in the eye.
I would not trust Kai, ever. If I don't trust Kai, you should not trust Kai.
He'll smirk and he'll say, I have my reasons. My business is my own of who I trust. But I have to ask, have you heard any murmurings throughout the town's Targos, Lonely Wood area of, and he kind of laughs as he says it, and he says, a mummy, and gives him kind of an incredulous look in the eye.
Like a mother?
No, you misunderstand me. A sarcophagus-ridden mummy. A mummy. Have you heard?
Funny you should say that. There have been, in Targos, the fishermen have been complaining about going out on the ice fishing in the boats, longboats. And they would be bringing in their catch, and they would see something in the water. It looked like something swimming. It only had one arm, but it was swimming after the fish as they hauled them in.
And Fang says, and you think that this has a connection to...
It looked like it was bandaged up, according to some of the fishermen. But if that's your mummy.
Thank you. If you will do me this one favor, I just tell your fishermen, spread the rumor that it is no threat, then to stand down. It is my business, and I will take care of it.
I will spread the word. It'll be an interesting story to scare the fishermen anyway, so.
And Fang gives him a curt nod, and he says, "Perhaps I'll see you in Targos." And as he walks away, we'll then look at the piece of paper.
The paper reads, in common, I'm sorry. You are all better without me. All accounts are balanced. But below that is a series of symbols that I'm not sure that you will... you will not understand what it means, but it looks like graffiti.
Okay.
It's 5 words long.
No, I mean, like, literally no indication as to what those mean.
No, you don't even know what language. It just looks like symbols. Code, perhaps.
Cool. Thank you. I'll pocket that, and I will try to catch up. I'll track the group and head toward the temple. I assume that's where they're going.
Oh, yeah. The rest of you...
Are we still walking?
Yeah,
We're walking back?
Yeah.
Brune, what's your health?
It's been a month.
It's like it's not great, right?
Ron?
Yeah.
Technically, if you try to heal Brune would kind of wave you off a little bit.
Oh, I wasn't going to give you the option of, like, offering.
Trax.
Okay.
I was just going to throw a spider at you as we walk.
Trax, I'm going to send you a message, actually. Give me a second.
God damn it.
Secrets.
And for what it's worth, just for flavor, if Fang walked off, Donar would not have gone totally with the group. He would have tried to keep eyes just to make sure he was safe. So if he saw him talking to Scath, he would have clocked that.
Holy shit, Brune's a vampire?
Pronounced Vam Tortle. Vam Portal.
Zach, have I had you make one of those yet?
Before,
yes. Before, like not like during the last session.
Not recently.
During the last session or after the last session.
It was me and Paul, I think.
Not recently, no.
Mine was in real life in the rehearsal hall.
Yeah, Brune looked pretty bad off. He looked really badly burned.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and heal him.
Okay. Suddenly, there's a mechanical spider on you, Brune.
Ah, he'll let it happen.
Go ahead and roll your cure.
Just let it.
It's an 8.
8.
And you see the spider knitting together the wounds and spraying a little aloe vera on him, Bactine.
I love that.
So you continue on. Rook, you are in the plaza, and you're kind of sifting through the rubble, and you see this group, this motley crew, and you saw them fighting against the dragon earlier, but you see them kind of walking. There's this tall woman who is got this elf by the scruff of the neck,
big woman.
and at some point he kind of struggles for a second and then gives up because he's not going anywhere. There's a short kobold, a turtle, a dragonborn, green dragonborn, and an unusual looking man with kind of scruffy hair and ears. They don't see you. It's dark, but you've been doing what you do.
I'm going to just slowly kind of rise, keeping my eyes on them, and I'm going to take my leather gloves and slowly place them back on. And then I'm just going to start kind of listlessly walking that way. Just kind of taking them in.
Okay. Are you trying to hide what you're doing, or?
No.
Okay. You all see this. Describe yourself, Blake.
So, he is an elf who is of a very pale complexion, almost ashy skinned. He's got shoulder-length hair, most of it pulled back in braids with beads and other accoutrements. Little bit of an undercut shaved on the sides. Not wearing any armor. He's just got on, like, kind of basically a t-shirt and some dark pants, boots, and a purple lavender cardigan. if you notice, you'll also look, his eyes are a very light lavender color, and he has distinct line markings on the ridge of his cheekbones that are the same color as his eyes. But he looks kind of sleepy, maybe tired. Just, he has a very pleasant disposition, but he looks tired.
And you see him kind of walking out of the rubble of one of the buildings. He's behind you as you were walking past. What do you do?
We'd notice him for sure.
He's not hiding anything. He's just, yeah. Elves are very uncommon up here.
So if he looks sleepy, tired, and he's exiting the rubble, Donar is not going to break his pace, but he's going to say, just so you know, people are setting up triage stations every couple of streets, and that's happening as we speak. So go ahead and find one of those. If you're hurt, bud, hope it gets better.
Oh, I'm fine, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can afford to help, we could use all the hands we can get.
I would be delighted.
All right, thanks. Sounds good. Donar's going to keep walking.
Rook's gonna follow him.
Okay.
Just slowly walking along.
Fang is just like maybe 5, 10. Well, no, I guess Fang is dirty. All this is Fang has caught up at this point. Yeah, from his conversation. So
yeah, that was that conversation you had was probably closer to the council hall than it was to the plaza.
So he's like 5, 10 tops feet behind. He's like with the group. How far behind is Rook? Or is he with us?
No, he probably, let's say he is about 25 feet. Like you were 25 feet past the building, the rubble that he crawled out of when he started.
It's enough that you probably feel a little bit uncomfortable. Like, is that guy following us?
Sure.
Or is he just doing his own thing?
Fang would like to telepathically give a little whistle, like literally a telepathic whistle to Pinky, and
Hi.
he'll say, just silently, obviously, the gentleman following us in the purple. Do me a favor, keep an eye on him. Anything unusual, let me know.
Do you want to, this is DM talk, do you want to officially cast the tech thoughts?
Yes, but just the superficial level.
Superficial.
Yeah. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind in that moment. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature or probe deeper. So I'm just doing the what is on its mind in that
No
moment.
saving throw or anything, right? For the surface level.
Only if I probe deeper, it says.
Rook, what are you feeling right now? What are you thinking about right now?
This must be them.
And Fang gives a telepathic to Pinky, and just he says,
You okay?
Yes. Just let me know if he tries anything.
I will.
Keep walking.
Okay. Ma'am, that elf really creeps me out. Could we walk faster wherever we're going? I'm also cold.
Of course. I think we all have goals set. It's
I can walk, but
no, I don't trust you. I'm sorry.
You can also run, so you're fine.
Hearing this conversation, Donar would check over his shoulder to see if Rook is still looking at us. And seeing that he is, Donar's going to turn around, stop, and say, "Hey, you got to forgive my spiky nature right now, but we've been through a lot the past couple of days. Can we do something for you? Because we don't know you. There's been a lot of shady shit going around. And if you exited from rubble, dude, and you don't need help, I don't want to know what you were doing in there. Or maybe I do. What's going on? If we can help you, I'd love to. But if not, let's go our separate ways, right?"
Well, I didn't come from the rubble.
I saw you with my own 2 eyes coming from the rubble. You're walking out of the rubble.
Well,
Can I insight check that?
I
I guess we'll let this happen.
I went into the rubble, but that is not where my origins are from.
Literal and right, literal. I'm just gonna take that to the rest of the group and be like, "This guy's trying to have a fucking conversation." All right, so you weren't born inside of a cement block. Like I get it, but can we help you with something though? Because you're looking at us like you're in love with all of us, and I get it. And like maybe that could happen one day. I don't know. My emotions are fried. What do you need?
Your reputations do precede you.
Yeah, I guess they do.
And with that, Fang will like fully turn around and just stand up straight as he says that, and just stand next to Donar.
Boone will do the same, and he'll just say, "We have somewhere to be. Do you?"
I am here to help you, if you should need it.
Who are you? What's your name? Where do you come from?
You may call me Rook. I come from Silvery Moon.
Oh,
Is that what we should call you, or is that your name?
It is what you may call me.
At this point,
All right.
Spitz is gonna turn around and say, "We're kind of on a schedule here. Let's not have any more of this mysterious man thing. If you want to help us, then bloody help us. What can you offer us? What are you here for? What are your intentions? Okay? Please, and thank you."
I will help any way I can. Merely point me in the direction that I'm needed.
What?
Do you know how to switch bodies? Or interrogate people?
In a way, yes.
All right, yeah, I'm fine.
Brune gestures broadly at the city, and then turns around and starts walking to the inn or whatever we're going to. The temple.
Noting that, Donar would say, "Look, Rook from Silvery Moon, I think what my friend Brune over there is trying to say is there's a lot of people around here who need help. Listen, we like accepting help from people. It's a very nice thing to offer. But unless you get into specifics, we got shit to take care of. So take care of yourself. And if you ever want to talk specifics, you can let us know. Sorry, dude. Places to be."
You're missing one, aren't you?
Donar's going to stand up straight and kind of chill goes down his neck and says, all right. What do you mean by that? What do you know of that?
I have heard of you, but it seems you are not all present.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of carnage the last couple of days, so you're right about that. We are not all present, although this is who's here right now.
I arrived too late to help this city. Perhaps it wasn't my place to help in the first place, but I am here now, and I am offering you to help you in any way that I might.
All right, Donar's going to sigh and kind of put his hands on his hips and look over to Trax and say, "Well, my buddy here just asked you about switching bodies, and you alluded to something you might know about that."
I can't switch bodies, but there is a way that I can speak to those that need to be spoken to.
All right,
Look, that's enough for me. Willard doesn't seem like he's in a particularly cooperative mood.
Spitz shakes him.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna help,
I am very sorry. You all seem
Distraught.
confused.
Yes.
Fang? Pinky says. He's thinking about a bird.
Any bird that we should know?
It's just a big black bird.
Thank you.
Listen, we would like your help if you can give it. We could use some right now. You're right, we are missing a person. We still have a lot to process here. But I don't think any of us have time for this little mystery man game you seem to be playing. Because we've all had some trying times. We are all at wit's end. We're all very tired, have been through a lot of emotions. So if you're gonna help, we would love that. But please, speak your mind clearly and tell us how you can help us. Okay? Those are my terms personally as the group's bear lady. Okay.
You had not been fully accounted for yet.
Yeah,
He
surprise.
says that with a little chuckle.
So can you help us with this situation right here?
I am a dealer in fate.
What the fuck does that even mean? It's not like it's a street, unless that's what people are calling it these days on the street. I still call it the dank. What do you mean, a dealer in fate? We can what? I don't even have like a reference metaphor joke. I'm sorry.
Fang puts a hand up in front of Donar and he just says quietly, "Let him speak."
We've been trying to let him speak for like 7 minutes, dude. He said like 2 things.
Fate is not a street. Fate is a thread, a very delicate thread. The thread of this town and many others was never meant to be severed, not in this way. So I am here to help. There is nothing more I can do or offer in this town. But the fiend who did this lives still. Am I wrong?
That's on our to-do list. Look, we just lost our friend. We're dealing with some things. We're going to get to that soon.
Then deal with what you must, and whenever you are ready to finish your job, I will be happy to help.
If you're offering to help us kill a dragon, we would say thank you, but next time you could say, I'll help you kill a dragon. Please.
There are many reasons why I'm here.
That's our most pressing one, I would say. That and this body. And rest, and I am so hungry as well.
I could do something about that.
Thank you. Forgive my crankiness. Once
That's
again.
all right.
It's been a long time.
I was supposed to go out to dinner after that meeting, and we never got to go. So,
what makes you think that any maitre d's are going to be like, all right, party at 2?
I think what we should do now is continue into the House of the Warren Lord, ask a couple of questions here. Rook, if you want to come and help, sure, show us what you can offer. I believe we will definitely take you up on the whole dragon thing. Use as much help on that as we can get. But let's do something.
I fully support your idea.
Thank you. I'm sorry for copying your accent.
It's been a long couple days.
Fine. When multiple accents happen, they cross
surprised me. Now shall we?
Yeah,
and then
I agree, Spitz.
Spitz turns and just keeps going.
Donar will follow.
okay, you go to the House of the Morning Lord.
Assuming Brune probably got there earlier than everybody else because he walked away, he kind of pushed the door open, just kind of dryly says to whoever seems to be working that, I'll just say, we're coming. We need your private room, and Donar's going to cook something.
Yeah.
And he'll just
big
go
eyes.
into the private room.
I will make sure the kitchen is ready, and I'll make sure the private room, we haven't touched it since you were last in it, so it's yours.
Thank you. And he'll go right in and just wait.
And if we're all passing through and going through there, Donar would be like, yeah, I'm going to cook. It's going to be a good time. This private room doesn't have like a fireplace set up because I'd love to do my cooking in there.
Of course, yes. Privacy, yes. Do you need... I'll just help you. Sorry, I'm not doing Copper's. I'm not doing Copper's accent at all. I'll be there. Yeah. Tell me what you need to bring in there, and I'll bring it.
I'll just give him a short list of ingredients and utensils.
Okay, he brings it.
Fang still lingered in the back of the group. I imagine probably the closest to Rook as they walked, if Rook was in the back as well. So once everybody goes through the door in that room, Fang will act like he's going in and then just like put his arm up in the doorway right as Rook gets to it. And he turns and he looks at him and he says, "What you hear, what you see, what goes on in this room is a privilege, and it is of the utmost importance that it stays classified. Should you break that trust, should you be here for a nefarious reason, I know at least 5 people that you will have to answer to. Please do not make us regret this." And there's almost like a pleading nature behind his eyes, but a fierceness that he's putting on.
I understand your caution. It is fully justified. But I assure you, you have no enemy in me.
Insight check?
Insight check.
Just for the hell of it.
What's your passive wisdom, Rook?
Passive wisdom, let's see.
I've never heard someone ask about that.
It should be on the
that's
D&D Beyond.
It is 14.
And my roll was a 15.
Okay. He's being very truthful. You catch a hint of sadness of at the situation, of the situation as in the attack and death surrounding you.
Fang makes sure not to break the eye contact first, but releases his arm and steps to the side of the doorway, still intending to be the last one in the room. He lets Rook pass, and then we'll shut the door once everybody's in.
Spitz, are you still holding Willard?
Yeah, she's gonna sit him down in a chair and say,
Toss him down.
and say, "Are you gonna stay there? Because if you're not, look me in the eyes. I'll punch you. Okay?"
He
The
looks
end.
at the door. He sees all these people, the
end.
4-foot wide turtle that takes up the entire doorway. He basically says, I'll stay put.
Okay, thank you. I promise we're nice most of the time. And then lets go of his shirt.
I'm not. You have some questions to be answered. I didn't think that through. I didn't expect. Where did you get that body?
He looks at you and says, it's my body. This is who I...
Okay, it's my body. Where did you get it?
They told me that if I said anything, even in private, they would know.
Who's they?
There's this woman and there's this kobold. The kobold's really big. Like he didn't look like, he looked like a kobold, but he's really big, like 7 foot tall. And he said they told...
A 7-foot kobold. Are you sure? Are you positive?
Very, very positive, very muscular.
Because we look at Donar over there. Does he look like a 7-foot tall kobold?
Donna's making pancakes.
Yeah, this kobold did not look like... He looks like the difference between you and Donar, and he's like, yeah, the snout and the whole, it's just completely different. But it was like muscular and 7 foot tall and big.
All right,
and
making
scary.
sure.
But they told me if I said anything, even in private, they would know.
Well, here's your conundrum. They might know, or we might do terrible things to you if you don't tell us.
He make an intimidation roll, see how scared he is.
Spitz
I know
will
he's scared,
help.
but
Yeah, Brune will stare him in the
Roll
eye.
it- roll
too,
an
if that
advantage.
gives any
Crack
sort of-
knuckles again.
Thank you. My intimidation is 0. I'm 2 feet tall.
I keep forgetting 2 feet. It's
You-
so easy to forget.
It's so
You
small.
come up to Spitz's
Yeah, my hands was a
knee.
13.
To the knee.
he looks at you and says, the woman had green skin, and
Green skin.
yeah, greenish, kind of grayish skin, tusks.
Oh no.
They told me that they would know, and they said that if I gave them a friend of mine told me that there was somebody in this cabin north of the 10 towns, and they were selling immortality potions. And they said if I wanted to live forever, just go and give them some gold, give them whatever they asked for. They get you become immortal. And I went, and they told me, and they said, you'll be immortal. You'll live for as long as you want to. And then when I woke up, I had these pointy ears.
What were you before?
I was just a man. I lived. I'm from Lonelywood.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic on him.
Okay. His whole entire body glows.
Oh my god.
Something's not right.
Fang steps forward. He says, Trax.
Yes.
And he just... Fang points to his own ear, and he says, I could try.
And you see a little like tentacle come out and so wave. So
Fang looks at Willard and casts Detect Thoughts.
okay. Are you going to
so-
probe deeper? The
Yeah.
surface thoughts, scared but terrified if the people who sold him the body would find out because they looked scary.
Yeah, I'll use an action. I'll probe deeper.
Okay.
If he has an intelligence of 3 or lower, he's unaffected.
But yeah,
Hopefully we have a little
it's like
higher
a
than that.
7. It's a 7 or 8. It's
It says if
Make
you
a-
probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw.
he rolled an 11.
13. So
He fails.
Fail, and if it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind.
That sounds perfect.
But also it says questions verbally directed at the target naturally shape the course of its thoughts, and the spell is particularly effective as part of an interrogation. So Fang maintains eye contact, but he talks to Trax and he says, "Ask him what you want."
All right. Tell me where this cabin is.
Give me a second.
No, you answer now.
Okay, this is Ron.
This is Ron.
I'm gonna put this in.
Please, this is Ron.
I don't care who you are.
I'm also still laughing over, I'm not.
The picture I'm posting is what the image that is looming large that's scaring him right now. But I'm posting it in the main chat.
Ooh, neat.
I was gonna ask if it was a Swobolt, but I was like, that's not. I can't ask that in character.
Sure is though.
Swole.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
And what was the question? I'm sorry.
Where is the cabin?
The cabin is several miles north of.
He answer, or am I getting this from his thoughts?
You're getting this from his thoughts. He says, "It's like if I tell you, they're going to kill me."
Fang will just combat that with, "Then don't tell him," and keeps his eyes focused.
That would be so unnerving.
It's on the shore of the sea of moving ice. He says, I can't tell you, but you see the location. He went out there on with some friends who were headed that direction for some sort of mysterious mission that he didn't know about, but his friends were meeting somebody there. He went with them.
Fang says to Trax, "Anything else?"
Can you use magic?
Magic? Well, no.
Cast a spell? Anything?
I can't use any magic. I don't know what. No.
Fang.
Still detecting thoughts?
He knows nothing about magic.
Then Fang shakes his head, still boring into his eyes.
Yeah,
into his
he looks a little like his eyes are watering a bit, kind of like, what's going on?
I don't think this is my body. I think this is a copy of my body. I don't know how. I don't know what source created this, but this isn't me.
So, is it okay to let him go? Or do we have to keep him here?
I don't know what they did with my old self. They
Did you see?
They loaded it onto a boat and rowed it out into the middle of the icebergs, into the ice flow.
From the skillet by the fire, Donar's going to say over his shoulder, "What'd your old self look like?"
Tall, skinny. I had bad, actually this image pops into Fang into your head. He's tall, skinny, really bad, like scars, like pimple scars, and just like hooked nose, missing teeth.
I can see why you chose such a handsome form.
Okay, Trax, we get it.
He's good looking now.
Spitz will kind of lift him up
Nah.
and say, "I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that trauma and that we were part of it. Thank you for your cooperation. Stay out of trouble, I guess."
I can go.
Fang says,
"Perhaps."
What's bitch said?
Fang says, "Well, he cannot go. We have no idea who he's working for. He cannot simply be allowed to go free."
I just wanted to go out and meet a nice girl.
And Fang looks at him and he says, "I'm not asking you." And he looks back at Spitz and he says, "Can we not? This is simply it could simply be a pawn in these individual this green skinned tusked woman's plan. I mean, he could be a spy."
It's Rose. Rose did this.
And green-skinned, tusked woman,
yes.
half-orc.
That's Fila's body.
That's Fila, yeah.
That's
Fang.
Fila's body.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Well, now I'm much more invested, sir.
I was going to tell you once he left, but we need to do something.
We can't... here's the thing. Can we figure out his intentions? Because I don't want any more bad things on our hand. I don't want to have to tie this man up.
I feel like his intentions are to be a dull idiot, but maybe we should check that.
You hear through the door Copper say, we've got a cellar. We can tie him up and keep him in there.
Copper, dude, come
I'm fine
on.
with that.
I'm hungry. I can smell the food. I want the
you-
food. I'm hungry.
You know what, Copper, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we should just keep him here until we sort out the Rose Villa situation.
Michonne won't know nothing. I got you covered. You still owe me. You owe me double for this, but...
Yes, it's on our list.
Spitz will say, Willard, I know that you were afraid that they would come find you. Would you agree to stay here? Perhaps in not like the best... we'll put a bed in there and make sure you get good food for
You'll
your
get food.
own protection.
I mean, you might have to fight off the rats, but I think you'll be fine.
That's extra food.
Correct, but we have things to sort out, and while we sort them out, we will also be sorting out your problem, and it'll keep you out of trouble, which you are clearly into. What do you say?
Can I keep the body?
We'll figure out the details of that.
They told me I would live for
Potentially.
800 years at least.
Well, they might have been lying to you, sweetheart. I'm sorry to tell you that. But in an ideal world, but you have to be prepared to face the consequences of your own actions. Okay?
He says, okay.
Thank
and,
you.
And the people will protect me here, right? The clerics.
Yes, they'll do their best, and I will talk to them firmly. And people often listen to me. Sound like a plan?
I'll accept your conditions.
Great.
Fang will go to the door and open it, see if Copper's on the other side still.
Copper's over on the other side, like in a armchair. He's like got a napkin tucked into his collar, waiting for food.
And he says, "Excuse me, would you mind showing the gentleman to the cellars?"
Of course I will. And he goes to a door and like opens it, and a stairwell going down. A little rank, damp. He says, "There's a small fire pit down there. We'll keep you warm." And he kind of pushes the guy down. He's like, "Wait, and shows him downstairs.
As that happens, Fang will shut the door and lock it, and he'll turn back to the group and he'll say, "Always hold all the cards," and kind of looks at the whole group, and that's it, I think, for now.
You catch Copper kind of looking in at what Donar is doing.
Dude, Copper, all right, hold on. I'll bring you out a plate.
Okay.
Just,
okay.
We have things to do, please.
Okay. The conversation was
Also,
getting heated. I didn't mean to listen. I promise.
I understand you're just trying to be a homie. Do you have any extra maple syrup? I'm running low.
Yeah. I'll go get some. Yeah.
All right, thanks. And Donar's going to turn to Rook and clear his throat and say, Rook, do you have any dietary restrictions?
No.
All right. And he's going to start dishing out pancakes and start making bacon and eggs.
Okay.
Breakfast for dinner.
I love breakfast for dinner.
It sounds good, man. That sounds good.
Spitz is...
We used to call it Brenna.
Oh, yeah, I used to do Bruno, too. There are people who are like Dunch, and I don't think so.
No, Dunch is dumb. It's brunch.
Or like...
Or dinner.
Deckfast.
The two... Anyway, what am I talking about? Look, this is the first lead I've had since getting here on getting my original body. And I know the dragon is a priority, but I can't help but feel like I need to go there.
Well, Trax, there's a non-zero chance that we have at least a little time. I mean, I imagine the Durgar are working on that thing for a while, and we did a good amount of damage to it, probably.
That's true. I'm sure it took months at least to construct that creature.
I'm not saying that like we have months, but we might have like a week or two. I don't know.
It would be to our benefit if we were to have my original body. Trust me.
What could you do?
Look, I can use magic.
Oh, more than the gadgets.
Yes.
Oh, the gadgets are freaking awesome, dude. I imagine
I've come to like them. Yes, but
they get in the way.
the strength and the power. I'm 125 years old. I've had that years to cultivate it, to strengthen it.
It must be hard to let go.
Yes, I was very angry for a long time.
Was?
I've come to accept a little bit of who I am now, but this chance to get my body back, it's lit a fire metaphorically.
I will say, as you know, Fila is very important to me. She's very high on my list of priorities to make sure she's safe and back from this Rose Devil or whoever she is. Although I know that the Dale comes first as well in my heart, as I'm sure in all of our hearts. So I think perhaps we make a plan for the dragon, because we are going to have more information sooner. We'll hear in the morning about the scouts, so we can have that plan, weigh out our options, and go from there. But we all know that we have a lot better of a chance against the dragon while it's grounded, because once it goes into the air, we're a bit shit.
I know you're right.
So it's a lot of hard things. I know, Trax, trust me, it's the amount that it kills me to not run immediately to my teacher. But there are so many other people that need us too. It's a hard decision. We've had to make a lot of hard decisions lately. And maybe not all of them have been for the best, but we're doing what we can.
We could sleep on this one.
Trax looks down. I agree. And Trax looks down at the amulet, and he says, I still think that we should go get this. And he holds it up.
For a reminder,
Yeah, I was going to ask
It's
a character.
it's the amulet of the
it's
shield guardian.
located.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I'll cut this out, and it's located. Actually, let me
Down here, right?
Yeah,
Is it all the way
Yeah.
bottom left?
all the way
wow.
bottom left. Yeah.
Near the fortress.
Well, the fortress is here.
Oh god, I couldn't see the pings.
But-
Give me some,
I know about shield guardians, and they
Fortress.
are formidable.
Ron,
yes.
did we potentially discuss, I'm trying to recall, if Spitz would know a path from there to the fortress, from the mountains?
The fortress, the Sunblight Fortress, or to this area, to the.
Like from all the way west towards the fortress, like would be able to
Oh, from
help
diamond
trek.
to diamond.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, you could probably get through, like this area with the forest in the center. You'd have to come down off the mountain, but you have another series of zip lines, like you could cut some time through.
Beautiful. Okay. I thought we had, but I wanted to double check. I do think it's a great idea to have as many reinforcements as possible, because last time we went up against the Duergar in their fortress, it wasn't very pretty.
Nope.
We did make it out, you know.
Thanks to you.
I wasn't trying to toot my own horn, but
Yeah, Spitz, we
I
never
am-
really talked about that. We haven't talked about much
We
of
have not
anything.
really rested
it's
since.
very true.
Oh, we rode together. We talked for 20 hours at least. So
That is true. I do know Trax pretty well now. I consider the rest of you allies. Rook, I'm sorry, jury's still out,
Oh gods, I forgot you were here.
but I'm willing to give you a chance, perhaps. We'll get there, as long as you can provide aid which you seem to be willing to, and I appreciate that. But I spent a lot of time in those mountains, and we do know that the shield guard is out there. I might be able to help us out with getting to the fortress a bit quicker than others. It's where I'm from, actually. You may have noticed I'm a bit large, very tall. That's because my family, I'm a Goliath. I'm a Goliath, if you didn't know. And I was born in the spine of the world. That's where I'm from. I got separated when I was really young, and I grew up with some barbarians who also lived in the mountains. So I've trekked most of the Dale. So if you need a navigator, I'm your gal.
Fang doesn't really wait for her to finish that. Right on the tail end of it, he says, "What do you know of the Cackling Caves?"
Ron?
Make a history check.
That is 17.
He spits it out. It's like word vomit. He was just waiting for her to finish. Didn't want to cut her off, but very pressing to him, obviously.
What was that, a 17?
Mm-hmm.
You know that pretty recently, it used to be known as the Cackling Cave. It's now known by the townspeople call it the Cackling Chasm. Most people stay away from it because it's just scary, and you can hear the cackling of creatures coming from within, from miles around. With a 17, you would know it is... Do you see where I just did? This is to the east, actually.
I do. It's like due north of the word spine.
Yeah.
Doing it again. Is it this?
It's this right here.
Oh, it's down here. Okay.
Yeah. You believe that, and you may have been told this by Fila, that gnolls have started living there recently in the last, maybe 5 years or so.
Spitz would say something along the lines of, I believe it's called the Cackling Chasm, or at least that's how I've heard it referred to. I had a nasty run in there once. It's a bit scary and ominous, especially when you're young. I bet I could probably find where it is again. Fila told me that it may have some new inhabitants in recent years.
Fang is just kind of nodding through all of that and takes a deep breath, and he says, "Friends, I've since we were getting our to-do lists out there, I cannot stall any longer. I feel a similarly growing urge to make good on the ring that I am looking for that belongs to my mother. I have recently come into some knowledge that that this is where my mother is from, Icewind Dale, and I believe they are here for bigger reasons than I realize. But I have put this off for far too long, and it is weighing heavy on me now that the 10 towns has been struck as it has, and I fear for their safety. And the longer I put it off, the heavier it gets. But I think I need to revisit the lake. Mayor Dualdon, I think that I need to go back soon. And he looks out the window and he says, "I believe this is the closest that we have been since we left it the first time." He looks back, he says, "I do not ask this of you all, I know that this is going in the opposite direction, but I don't know when we'll get back here. And I fear that I will lose my opportunity."
If we are to go fight this beast again, we should all be in a place that can be where our full focus is. If we need to accomplish other things first, it may be best in the long run.
And I similarly understand the importance of our timing here. If we wait too long, it could be to our detriment. So that is why I cannot ask this of you all. I simply must bring it up.
Would it behoove us to accomplish our tasks and then regroup here, perhaps, for an assault?
Perhaps.
Well, if we regroup here, I worry that that Spitz is right. I mean, I know Spitz is right about trying to attack this thing on the ground. If we regroup here, then we're just preparing to fight it not to be nihilistic, but seems like we're just preparing to fight it in the air.
Perhaps I know it's not ideal, but if we set a short amount of time that we are sure we would have, we could at least begin these other tasks, get a feeling for them, return, so that we can go attack the dragon, take care of that finally, finish what we started, and then continue on with them.
I feel in terms of dragon defense, I will back burner the Fila Vulu quest and perhaps focus on getting us a shield guardian.
I am in agreement. Fang, I know that the Cackling Chasm is very important to you. I would perhaps offer to lead you there after we are able to attack the dragon. If you want to, perhaps we take a few days. The mare isn't far from here. If you must go and seek your answers, and we can all regroup in that time, perhaps while some of us are preparing for the quest, perhaps some of us can go with you as well. And then we can either all go get the shield guardians together, or we can do that later and meet here. It seems to be a waste of time to go to the mountains and then come back and go to the mountains. However, once we have defeated this enemy, I'd be happy to do that for you. It seems to be very pressing for you.
Thank you. The chasm, it can wait. This is new information, and the chasm will happen when it happens, but my proximity now to Lonelywood is the only reason that this is so pressing for me. And he stands up straight and he kind of fixes his posture, he says, while I am not sorry that I must do this, I do regret the fact that I have to. And he kind of breaks eye contact, and he clearly is full of guilt. But he was like, I would be happy to travel farther south when I am finished and meet you, perhaps near the base of the mountains, further south of what used to be Dugan's Hole.
Donut's going to put down his spatula and say, "Oh, Fang, you're one of the most selfless beings I've ever had the pleasure to meet in 19 years. If you think for a second I'm not going with you, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but you're out of your dang mind."
Fang flashes probably the first real smile we've seen this episode, and he just kind of nods in thanks, clearly caught in his throat.
Spitz will put her hand on his shoulder as well and say, I know I haven't known you long, but I just want you to know that offer stands. I can tell that your heart's in a good place, and this is very important to you. So you have to do what your heart is telling you to do, and you have our full support.
I will meet you soon. I promise you. I will do it quickly. And he looks at Trax and he says, what you are doing could perhaps save the Dale from total annihilation. And if I can, I will catch up with you.
Let's hope that I'm doing the right thing.
It seems to be smart. But perhaps for now, we ought to eat some food. I say this selfishly. Please. I'm so hungry.
I've been keeping it warm over here. I got hot plates under the fire. I'm waiting. I mean, I got a little maple syrup left, but I'm waiting for Copper with that industrial
Copper
bottle.
bundles in with the...
Oh, speak of the devil, dude. You should have said something before. Copper, I'll make you a plate. I'm sorry about before. I was a little testy.
It's fine. It's fine. Here you go. Here's the extra maple syrup. Anything else you need?
Thanks, dude. No, I'm good. Thanks. I got my pack with me. I appreciate it.
I've got a slab of butter in the kitchen if you need fresh butter.
Oh, shit. Oh, I was going to ask you for butter, too. Yeah, the butter would be great. Oh, thanks.
I'll bring it. And he goes back and brings it out. Okay, and you have a wonderful, what do you call it?
Just Brenner. Breakfast for dinner. Pancakes, bacon, eggs.
Brenner.
Donor will make as much as there is for... I mean, technically for anybody in the building, but really focusing on the party and Copper.
Well, actually, Rook, what are you doing? You've been quiet the entire time.
I just sent you a message.
I would imagine that that would be a big
Chatting.
I'm
first
down
get
to
to know
continue
you with
RPing.
Rook. I don't know if that's an RP thing or if we want to gloss over it, but I do think that we would at least Fang would take an opportunity to welcome him into the feasting.
Oh, same with Donar.
Spitz
sure.
also just wants to check in with Brune.
Let's keep the RP going.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's
keep
going well.
We have a table in this room, or is it like a?
Yeah, it's a large kind of common area with a side section for seating, and it's like the kitchen's in one area. Well, not the kitchen, but like the fire area. There's like seats around the fire, and Donar's cat like. Donar's cooking, but there's these comfortable seats. There is a table, kind of more like a conference, more like a meeting table than a dinner table. It's round and like some rickety chairs around it. But
Fang would take a few moments to gather 7 chairs, put it around the table, and then he looks around the room, and if there is an 8th in the room, a moment later he goes and grabs 1 extra and puts it at the table as well.
Copper is like, I could eat my dinner breakfast in my room if you need private time to talk. But
We all just kind of look at each other.
And Fang, yeah, it's. I think that's real. I'm pretty sure that tension sits there for a second,
Yeah.
and Fang goes over to Copper and he says, "Copper, you were with us today. You know that we suffered a great loss. You have been nothing but good to us. While we would appreciate a moment that we have not had yet, if you need someone to eat with, you are welcome to stay."
I don't mind being by myself.
Fang puts a hand on his shoulder and he says, we are more grateful than we can express. And you know what? Grants that little motherfucker a vigilant blessing with
Let's
his-
go.
Yeah!
And he feels blessed, and he's like,
I don't know if he's got an initiative roll coming up, but
no.
Hashtag.
but he
It's about the feeling.
he takes his plate. And he says, "I promise I won't bug you about Macretus the rest of the night." And he takes his plate and goes and leaves.
As he's leaving, Donar is going to say, I recommend hot sauce on the eggs if you're into that.
Hey, I like it spicy.
All right, cool.
the Fang shuts the door behind him and he says, we really should check on Macretus. That I think that is important to him. If
It's on our list, but we've had a lot of pressing things. But we'll
absolutely.
bump it up. We'll bump it up on the
Fang will full pat one of the chairs and looks at Rook and he says, "A new face at our table. In my experience, that has only ever been a good thing."
I'm glad to be here. And he'll come and sit in the chair and cross his legs in the chair and just kind of cross his arms in his cardigan and just kind of rock.
Fang will sit next to him and rub his hands together, waiting for the food.
Donar's going to dish out the plates and putting a plate in front of everybody. And to Rook, he's going to say as he puts it down, Rook from Silvery Moon, I hope you can understand where we're coming from today. I know we had some big words outside, but a lot's been put on our plates that isn't eggs and bacon, and we've had to deal with a lot the past week or so. So I hope you understand where the emotions lie right now. It's not necessarily personal. We still don't really know you from Adam, but I just hope you get it,
Rook almost lulls for a second in a very introspective way and just says, kind of snaps back to, and there have been many threads severed in the past few days. It is very sad, and the toll has been taken on all of you. But you are doing good.
Well, I appreciate that. It's we're not exactly strangers to feeling severed from things,
Just eating.
I do have actually, wow, I can't believe I forgot about this. Donna's going to root around in his pack for a small, like, rustic kind of bottle with red liquid in it, and he's like, right before I left the monastery, I tried making my own hot sauce. We got a deal on some peppers. If anyone wants it for the eggs, no hard feelings.
Spitz will slowly raise her hand and just say, I don't think I've ever had hot sauce before.
Oh, this is a perfect place to start, because I wanted to make one that was good for people who don't deal with spice too well. So it's got some offsetting factors. There's some fresh dill and things, and yeah, try it if you want.
I'll try it.
It's very vinegary, if that's your thing.
This is delightful. Truly, the best Brenner I've ever had. It might be the only Brenner I've ever had.
Shit, Spitz, I forgot that I haven't really cooked since we met you. This is kind of my thing to do.
It's brilliant. You're brilliant, Donar.
Thank you, dude. You're so tall. How'd you said you're gonna be so tall?
I grew. I have parents that are Goliaths. It's in my blood. I'm actually on the shorter side, you know. I got those 2 inches.
It's no big deal.
Thank you.
Hey, come forward in spirit.
I'm 7'2", okay?
I'm 6'6". I thought I was the tall one. Shit.
It's okay. I don't know if I've met anybody, well, any non-Goliath that's taller than me. But I digress.
Here's hoping we don't.
And then she keeps shoving her face.
Donar will make food until people don't want anymore. This isn't like a one plate kind of thing. He will make seconds, thirds, fourths.
Brune wants a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Same. Spitz has also sat next to Brune this whole time and just very quickly says, Brune, my friend, I know we haven't checked in yet, but I wanted to say I'm sorry that I did not immediately come to your aid when everything happened. As a fighter, you should look out for your other fighters, but I wanted to make sure that the threat was null. And there were a lot of emotions happening. But I wanted to make sure you're okay.
With that, Brune kind of keeps eating for a few seconds before he starts to listen. And he kind of cracks a smile. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, I've been distracted. It is not Brune anymore. In the blast, I believe Saloon gave me a message. She said, do not be fooled, Oak. You are quite alive. And, I believe that is my name now. I do not know why, but I would like to be called Oak now, I think.
Oak is a beautiful name.
It's nice to meet you, Oak. You want some more eggs?
I would, thank you. As far as your question goes, physically, I feel I must say something. Something about that blast from Kai felt wrong. It was something I felt with the impact of it, or rather I did not feel with the impact of it. We all saw the blast, what it did, the destruction, but I didn't feel that destruction to my body. It seems to appear that I was harmed, but it hardly feels like I was damaged at all. It should have killed me, I believe. It was like unlike any explosion I've ever seen. It does give me pause, and I worry that this may not have been Kai's last trick after all. And I have been thinking about that for some time. Mentally is a different story. I'm full of doubt with the evening's events. Spitz. He says this directly to Spitz. I had a student once. I was a teacher, with a slight smile. You know the moon here. He kind of gestures to up. Her goddess, Saloon. Do you know of her?
I don't know of her.
Well, Saloon is pretty. I mean, everybody knows the name of the moon.
I do
is
know
Saloon.
of her. I do, but I wanted to hear your interpretation of her, Brune. You've been painting such beautiful pictures.
Claire, I don't know if you know about Saloon, goes through the sky, and there's these shiny kind of stars that follow her, called Saloon's Tears, that follow behind her in the sky.
She's beautiful.
Brune wears the symbol of Saloon, which is an eye, and then 7 circling stars on his like pointy triangle.
Oh.
Brune continues. He says, "Where I am from, I do not say this to shock you, but nobody knows of her. Where I am from, my planet has different gods. I did not know when she selected me as some sort of champion, and to be honest, I'm not sure what I am to her, but I started to follow her ways, and I taught in her name. The student that I mentioned, her name was Strike. What I've learned recently is that she's sworn to Shar, the goddess of the night, and the enemy of Saloon. The goodness that came from my partnership with Saloon was matched in an evil, as Strike left my teaching and slaughtered an entire village at night. I should have seen the darkness brewing, and perhaps I even did, but buried it under my pride and foolish hope that I could teach her better. You see, Kai was right in a way, in that I do use my body to stand against many things, and with great success. Though perhaps my mind has been equally as stubborn, hoping for the best from friends, regardless of their actions. Too much pride that I can hope and to change them. I have always felt guilt in questioning my trust of those close to me, and I will no longer burden myself with that guilt. The hope of redemption cannot always outweigh the potential for destruction." And he looks around at the group, specifically not at Rook, though. "You are people I now trust, though. Our travels, and I trust you to understand my struggle. But I also trust you to challenge those thoughts when necessary, and I will meditate on the courage and confidence going forward. We have become quite the Baal. That is the turtle word for tribe." And with that, he'd like to call in Nabernacher and order 6 drinks for everybody.
Copper comes in like in his nightgown. Actually, he has like one of those like old timey like this night shifts.
Scrooge.
And yeah, and he has the hat and everything, a little floppy hat. And he comes in. He's like, "I think I've got some nosh back here. I'll bring you some glasses."
Copper, if you're going to bed, dude, I can pour them up. Don't worry about it.
Okay, he just brings you the glasses all stacked up and like the bottle. He hands it to you.
Thanks, dude. Do you want one on us? Copper, do you want a drink on us? Copper, you asleep?
It's my bottle, so I'm just letting y'all have it.
Oh, well, okay.
Ron, I messaged you something. Fang calls Copper over, just with a wag of his finger and whispers something in his ear.
He goes back, gets the bottle. There are 7 glasses? 8 glasses? 7 glasses. Okay. And he gives
Yeah,
them
if Willard's in the basement, then it's 7.
Boone would make a toast if nobody else wants to.
Take it.
Since he's kind of going off his mini monologue there, once everybody, including himself, has a glass, he'll say, "I remember every name I have ever had, and there are many. Every time my name is changed, it is a rebirth in a small way. I believe this too can be our rebirth. We mourn Kai, we mourn what we have lost, and we emerge changed today. Just as the seasons change, slowly, and then all at once." And he'll take a sip of his first alcohol ever.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Trax is going to lift his up and think for a second, and he's going to hand his drink over to Spitz.
Spitz is a total lightweight, so she's just like nursing it, but she'll take it. She's like, "It's been a long fucking day."
She's so big.
Fang
She just never drinks.
takes the 7th, right? 1, 2. There's 6 of us, right? In the room.
6 in the room right now.
So Fang takes the 7th glass and I get from wherever the pile of them were and just deliberately sets it at Kai's station and raises his silently to Oak and takes downs at least half of it.
Donar has not taken a sip yet. He accepted the glass from Oak and has just been staring at it and looking at the glass. He's going to say quietly, Oak, you mentioned that you felt something weird about the explosion. And I feel like I should speak up and say that dude, and he puts his hand on his forehead and he's going to say, I don't know, man. There is a chance. I don't even ever know how this shit is possible. But there's a part of me that doesn't believe it. There's a part of me, I was dead set watching the thing, and there was a part of me that just, it seemed to me like maybe it was an illusion. I don't know. I don't even know a quarter of what Kai was capable of. But there's a part of me that is thinking, shit, man, if there's a lot that he didn't tell us, and there's a lot that Kai did not tell us, there's a chance that he's out there somewhere. And we all saw it happen. We saw Meat Hook get murked, but we saw Kai disappear or crumble or something. I didn't check. I didn't check the spot on the floor. I don't want to make this weird. And I don't want to make it seem like there's like a chance he's out there when he's not actually, but shit. Oak, you mentioning that makes me feel like I'm not alone in this. I don't know if anybody else saw anything, but I've been kind of freaking out. I haven't even known how to begin to process it, so I made 80 pancakes.
I'm not familiar with many magics, but he was a mysterious person, and I don't want to rule anything out. There is part of me that fears what happened.
Fang looks up from his glass and he says, I agree with you. I do not think that what we saw is the whole story. As Ryan was on her way out of the meeting, she moved with a quickness, but thanks to my friend, and he puts a finger, taps his ear, and he says, Ryan specifically told me that everything will be okay. And if anyone should have been mourning Kai in that moment, it was Ryan. He'll continue and he'll say, so I think that we are right to doubt. I believe, if anything, that is what Kai gave us the most of.
Doubt?
In true fashion, yes, Donar. I do mean to say that. I believe that he cast doubt on a lot of situations. We ourselves had a lot of doubts about Kai himself, and I think that in that moment, I should say, that Kai had none, and he has left us with many. And Fang raises his glass again and downs the rest of it.
Donar will join him on that one, finally downing it.
Oak will too.
Spitz looks around and finishes her glass too.
Rook is going to take the smallest sip out of respect and then just kind of push it aside.
This tastes weird.
It's not great drinking out. I don't know if you've ever had a drink before, Oak, but I like having the occasional drink, but sometimes it doesn't taste good. I'll be honest.
It is for an experienced palate.
I must say, I expected it to be smoother.
You get used to it. You drink it mostly for how it makes you feel.
Well, you don't right now, Trax. I didn't want to call attention to it, but first time I've ever seen you reject a drink.
Yeah, I decided to approach everything for now with a clear head.
Do you want to smoke a little?
Well, I'll still do that. Yeah, give me some.
I'm just saying, because depending on the person, because there are some people who that clears their head right up.
No, I handle that fine. I'm done drinking myself into a stupor.
Donar will slide the water pipe across the table to him.
Thank you.
Spitz will lean over to Oak and say, "What is that?"
Has Oak I'm pretty sure Oak has smoked before.
Yeah, that's when he
yeah.
became Shiv, I believe.
Oh, yeah. That's right, yeah. Yeah.
I remember every name I've ever had.
Listen.
I'm savage today. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oak will kind of whisper to Spitz, it really is something you just have to try.
I guess now's as good a time as any.
Well, Spitz, I'm sorry. I don't want you to get crossfaded.
Smart.
I'm sorry.
I totally know what that means.
It's when you drink a lot and also smoke a lot, and I did it once when I was 16, and I'm never gonna do it again because I got the spins, and I didn't go to classes the next day.
I guess today I had your fine cooking for the first time. Some other time I will have to try this mysterious pipe.
I call it the pipe is not called the dank, but the substance is called the dank.
Wonderful. We will have to try the dank.
Yeah, for sure.
As we dank and drink and all the things, Fang, he looks at Oak and he says, Oak, do you have perhaps an estimation or Spitz an estimation on the amount of time that these journeys should take us?
Oh, if you give me some time for figuring.
Getting to Tourmaline, what was it, like an 8 hours, and maybe like an hour or two after that to get to Lonelywood? So not long to get to Lonelywood. Going to the far west, if you just cut straight across, because you can take the Tin Trail down, then follow Red Run over. So that actually may...
And do we still have access to dog sleds? Has that been
well, all you had to
revoked
do
from
is, like,
us?
if she told you, like, to come get them. She has a place in Bryn Shander, and if you need the dog sleds, to come get them.
Good news.
As we're figuring those estimations, Fang would also bring up, so I suppose the plan right now is for Spitz and Trax to go one way. Donard has decided that he will go with me. Oak and Rook, the choice is yours. Rook, you are coming into the situation at a unique moment. We do not usually split up like this, but it appears that is what is happening. Sorry, Dungeon Master.
Oh my god, I'm going to kill you all.
You know, that's not the way it's supposed to go.
I do not have any personal business here, of course. I'm here to do the most good that I can, is what I believe. So I will go where I'm needed the most. I feel maybe Spitz, if you're going with Trax, maybe I will go with Fang and Donar. I have a bit of a map of the towns in my head, if you will, that I believe I could guide them where they need to go.
I noticed that.
Fang looks to Rook and he says, "You've spoken about your abilities in more or less terms that I'm pretty sure that most of us kind of understand." And he looks around the group and he says, "But you of the little that you have heard this evening, do your skills cater to any direction more helpful?"
I'm troubled.
Do tell.
Fate is very fragile, as I've said. The more tension placed on it, the more in danger it becomes of snapping, as it already has. Free will is troubling. We are allowed to do whatever we wish. It is not my place to intervene on either account.
You offered your help. Are you now denying it? Because you cannot make a choice.
There is one true thread that still exists.
What makes you believe that? I've never been one for destinies myself. Until recently, I didn't even know there were other planets. As far as anyone could have told me, my destiny was always on Mystara, and here I am, in an unknown planet in a frozen wasteland.
I do not know fate directly, but there are those who hold the strings. That is how I know.
Rook, I gotta say, dude, I don't think I'm following. It takes me a second, and I've had a lot of new information today. Not in an aggro way, I'm not following what you're saying.
You have all sacrificed very much of yourselves already. You have set aside countless needs and desires to be where you are now. But yet, the work remains unfinished. Do you falter now?
Oh, so you're talking about the dragon. Okay.
So you do not agree with our decision to do other tasks first?
I think stretching the threads thin is a risk, but it is free will.
If we can, we might be able to because I see what you're saying. I'm with it now, and I think we can think about this like stretching a muscle so it doesn't break when it does get tested. You know, because you're right about stretching. Like if you stretch a piece of yarn, it's going to be so much easier to cut through, right? And I'm not high. I'm just talking. What I'm saying is the pieces of the puzzle that we are stretching to get accomplished in the next week or so might make that string you're talking about stronger in the end. He's sure free will, but we're making the choice not to go directly after the end goal, so it'll be easier to accomplish at the end.
And what should happen if the threads are cut in other places?
We'd have no way of knowing.
Then your idea of destiny is faulted.
Fate has already been faulted here. The dragon was never supposed to exist. You were supposed to succeed.
The dragon was here before we were. That much is clear.
Do you believe you never had the chance to stop it?
I think we tried. Did you? I don't even know where you were during the dragon fight, Rook. I think we tried almost the frickin' best we could, and we lost a lot of people as a group, as a
got
10
quite
town.
close.
Look, I don't look. If we're speaking in hypotheticals here, but it doesn't matter what happened. It only matters what we're going to do.
So, you may take your alternate routes on hope that you succeed and grow stronger in the end. Or you follow the thread to where it leads, end the threat before it begins again, and then follow your free will wherever it may take you next.
Well, I cannot disagree that the dragon is the most pressing of the issues here. First of all, I would like to say it's very rude to say we failed when we did our best.
That's very true.
To fight dragons, and we welcomed you here, and we fed you, Rook. I just want to be frank on the whole first impression thing.
It is not an affront. It's merely a fact.
Sure, okay. And I
You
do
failed as well.
know
Is that not true?
that we all want
right.
to fight this dragon. While I cannot directly speak for Fang's quest, I know at least what Trax and I are planning is to give us the strength to go to the fortress with the Duragar, which we know there are a lot of, and we know they are very strong. And last time when we were at full strength, we almost lost Donar. We would have lost Donar had I not heard the commotion and been able to come in and help. So, we need strength to accomplish this task. Now, I understand what you're saying. I really do. If it were up to me, I would go right now and I would take out that dragon. But I don't currently have the strength to do that. Do you understand? If you want to help us, please help us. This is not helping. This is being rude and being cryptic. If you want to go fight the dragon, please just say, let's go fight the dragon. And give us those 2 cents, okay? I hate to be so, in the midst of a good time, but we're trying to make decisions, hard ones.
I understand.
And to come in here and say we failed is bold. It's bold.
Forgive me.
I don't know if I will, but I'll give you another shot, okay? I will forgive you if you prove your worth, okay? That's what I'm going to say about that.
Claire, take an inspiration.
Thank you. So, I know that I am probably not the one that you want to go on a quest with, but may I suggest that since we have 3 of our party going to do something that will make us stronger, and only 2 of the party so far going on to do something, that you join us. You prove your worth. You help us get this shield guardian, and then we will go and we will take out that dragon and as many of the Duragar as we can, because we will have the strength as a full team.
This was a mistake.
What was the mistake?
I was led to think that your purpose was clear.
What do you mean by that, Rook? From Silvery Moon?
Even now, you head in different directions.
We do not know you. We will not take orders from you who
As
speaks
I said,
critically.
you have free will.
For Fultus' sake, he's right. We cannot. We have something to do. And Fang is clearly distraught again. He says, I don't claim to know the right direction, and I thought that I did, and I thought that I needed to handle this, but we cannot deny that he is right. Right? How long will this put us off?
I believe we can. What do we know of this man? We know that he wears this color. Great. We know that he speaks in riddles. I will not follow him over you.
I do not mean to follow him, but I do mean to consider it. I think that he is. I believe that he is candid, perhaps overly. And Fang looks at Rook. He says, but I believe that he speaks to avoid further damage down the road. Should we lose enough time, we may not be able to maintain the headway that we have already gained. I have put, and he swallows hard. He says, I have put my purpose here in Icewind Dale on a back burner, so to speak, because there was a more pressing matter. That was always the reason. The more pressing matter, the more pressing matter, the more pressing matter. That's what we have been doing. We have been making decisions the whole time about moving toward the more pressing matter. And in this moment, I cannot deny that the dragon is the most pressing matter. I also do not disagree that we need more strength. The dragon remains unfinished because we were not strong enough to take care of it. But we have left it wounded, and who's to say it will not come back stronger?
Then maybe we all go with Trax. Gain that strength.
Yes, maybe we do.
Fang, dude, I just didn't want you to miss your chance. Like, of course the dragon could destroy everything, but we're so close, man.
My thought was, if a group was already going with Trax, we could use the time that they took to accomplish what you wanted to, if we were going to do that anyway.
Fang he says, what I must do is very important. I will not deny this. It is important to me, and I believe that it could help us in the long run. But I must make decisions based on logic and reason, and I must put away my emotions. And he says that through kind of like gritted teeth, and there's something behind his eyes that he doesn't share. What is leading me toward Lonelywood is my emotions. Logic tells me to move south, either with you all or toward the mountain.
I do think we are stronger as a team. And our 2 choices could be either go straight for the dragon or to get the shield guardian and go. Fang, I understand this is a very difficult choice that you've made, and I would like to make it very clear that in honor of your sacrifice, as soon as we take care of the dragon, we will go to Mayor Doldon. We will go to Lonelywood. We will take care of this pressing matter. We will see to it that you are able to do that. If it's not as the full party, we'll at least have a smaller version of the party go. That will take priority. I've been saying for a while now, I would like to point out, that the dragon comes first. And I firmly believe that. That's been my personal goal this whole time. And I really appreciate the strength it takes to make a choice like this. It's not easy to do. But if we don't take out that dragon, it can destroy all of the 10 towns. We've seen its carnage already. So now we have the one choice of, are we going to get the Shield Guardian first? Or are we going to go in as a unified team? And that's something to think about. But already this decision is so much stronger than before. And thank you, Guy.
He doesn't say anything. He's just kind of broken his gaze from the group.
Donar's also looking straight down at the table, and he's just going to mumble, I'm going where Fang's going.
Maybe after some silence, Fang says, It has been a day. Perhaps what we need is rest.
Yeah.
Rest sounds great right now.
And Fang looks over to Rook and he says, You have not been here long. And yet, you have given us much to think about. I do not know whether to thank you or not, but it has been done. At the very least, he looks around to the group, he says, at the very least, I'm glad to rest tonight as 6.
When the dragon has been destroyed, I will tell you who I am and why I'm here. But only then.
I just want to know why it has to wait. Why not be up front, dude? We've been through so much, and I imagine you have too.
If we're going to be traveling with you, I agree.
Yes, our missing compatriot did not tell his full truth, and we are worse off for it.
Rook will slowly start looking at his left hand, which is gloved with a black leather glove. What difference does it make?
Oh, everything.
It's a matter of trust.
And you've already insulted us several times, I'd like to add.
You could leave this tavern now, and we would not lose any sleep over it. You are just another man to us right now, unless you are honest with us.
He unfolds the glove and slowly starts pulling at the fingertips. And he pulls off the glove, and as opposed to his ashy white skin, his fingertips are black. And they move down his hand in almost this veiny gradient. And he turns his hand around with his palm to face the others. And there's a tiny black, almost looks like a gem in the middle of his hand. But you're not sure if it is or not. And he just says, "There is little I can say or do to step outside of my fate. I have done that to be here with you all, to help and not to hurt. But understand this is of great risk to me as well." He turns around his hand and slowly starts putting his glove back on.
What was the gem in your hand?
Yeah, that just gave us more questions.
It is not a gem. It is an eye.
Oh, of whose?
Hers.
Fang, make a religion roll.
Whose eye is that?
18.
Sending you a message.
Thank you.
Oak does ask, whose eye is that? Speak plainly.
If you do not know, then it won't matter to you.
I'm telling you right now that it matters to me. Please answer the question. And he's gonna kind of stand up and put his hands on the table and make himself big.
He says he doesn't need to answer the question. Fang looks at Rook and he says, I saw the bird in your thoughts earlier. You mean to say this is the eye of the Raven Queen?
It is the eye of my mother.
Does that mean your mother's the Raven Queen?
Not of natural birth, but I was created by her.
Hey, well,
Explain more, please.
created.
I will not risk saying more, because the further I stray from my tether, the closer she comes to cutting it.
And then what would happen?
Then I begin again.
Ron, does this room have beds? Is it a sleeping place as well?
Well, it does. Yeah, 'cause there's like cots that are like folded up that can be unfolded that you can sleep in. Yes.
Donut's going to stand up and move to one of the cots and say, "Yeah, I think Spitz and Fang, you were right. I think sleep's going to do us good. I cannot. I gotta be alone with my own thoughts right now. I gotta be alone with my own thoughts. Good night to you all. Hope the pancakes were good." Donut's going to unfold a cot and lie down facing away from the room. And then he's going to stand up and go get the water pipe and light it up on his way back to the cot. And then he's going to leave.
Spitz will say, "It was absolutely delicious, Donar.
So glad.
Thank you. I look forward to more meals."
If you have any requests, let me know. If I have a full kitchen, I can make anything.
Wonderful. And she'll say, "I'm going to follow suit as well. Rook, I do not trust you. You need to be level with us if you're going to be with us." That's all I have to say. Good night, everyone.
And with that, the rest of you drift along with your own thoughts, thinking upon the day's events and what's to come. And as you rest the full 8 hours, you wake up at level 7.
Ah, God.
And that's where we're going to end it for the night.
Jesus.
I love ending on a
We've been
on a
level 6 for a year.
Oh, my God.
Please subscribe and leave us a review on Podchaser or Apple Podcasts, and share us with all your friends. Follow us on Twitter at SeveredSonsDND, and join our Discord and our Patreon, which you can find in links in our link tree. Thank you to Wizards of the Coast, D&D Beyond, Roll20, and thank you to Syrinscape, Andrei Sitkov, and to Monument Studios for the amazing sound effects and music. Stay frosty!
Ooh, it's so cold.
It's chilly now, for real.
It is. I'm by my big window and I'm freezing.